sort by BABIP over the last 30 days, and he's at the top of the list. It's like, well, isn't this guy leading the American League in homers?
But he is one
so
of
I
the
thought
worst.
I thought that was very interesting. The other thing about you speaking on your hard hit rate, that was my hitter. One of the things that I thought was trending in the right direction was Alex Dickerson of the Giants, the outfielder.
Hey,
29-year-old.
We were talking about how we kind of liked him 2 weeks ago. We wished he had a shot in San Diego, and he actually looks pretty good. He looks, I mean, it's not saying a lot, but he looks like he's the best San Francisco outfielder.
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Kevin Pillar is pretty good. But anyhow, Dickerson, he doesn't have enough batted ball events yet to make the leaderboard, but if you drop it down to 40, he is the number 5 player in hard hit rate with 53.5% hard hit rate. He's really, squaring up on the ball, and it doesn't look like there's anybody who's going to push him for playing time. I'm sure he's available in every league that you're in. And
I mean, just one of the reasons why I know you follow me on Twitter, but I've been having this discussion with Alex Fast, the pitchers list, about like they charted out the slugging percentage based on how fast things would go, and basically between hitting the ball at 80 miles an hour and hitting the ball at 95 miles an hour, there's really not a lot of fluctuation. But from 95 and up, that's what's considered a hard hit rate, it goes up on a straight incline. Every mile per hour you get over 95 is going to be like a 15% jump in slugging percentage, and it keeps going up and up and up. There's a real value to these guys hit the ball hard, like Alex Dickerson. And I didn't see him because he was under my filter. So thank you for finding that guy for me.
Yeah, so that was definitely one that you might be able to pick up anywhere. So
I did on Pitcher List they have, not on Pitcher List, on Baseball Savant they have the expect like WOBA versus expected WOBA, and I looked at a couple players there to see if there's anything that was very interesting to me, and like Jose Ramirez comes up a lot, right? And his WOBA so far is .284, but based on what he's hitting, his WOBA is supposed to be .328. That means that things are going to get much better for him. Honestly speaking, a .33 WOBA is about average. So he's been playing below average. He should come to average. I don't know if that's like move heaven and earth for that. But you know who's a big jumper? That's supposed to get a big jump is Justin Turner. His WOBA right now is good at 3.56, but it should be 3.96. That's substantial moving on the up thing. And the other guy who just came back is AJ Pollock. AJ Pollock has about a .05 uptick on what you should see from him hitting. I worry a little bit about AJ Pollock's playing time with Verdugo there.
Yeah, I mean, Verdugo's been playing pretty well. Pollock is just it's tough for me to get to hop on board with him. He's hurt constantly. He just doesn't seem right that he's going to get in that lineup every day. So another one. I have a couple bad ones, but I want to touch on one more player here, and most likely it's too late to hop on board the Lourdes Gurriel Jr. train. But man, this guy has really lightened it up over the last month since he got called back up. He's got WRC plus of 183, which 100 is the league average. So if you're 183, you're up there in Christian Yelich territory. So I picked him up in a couple places. I own
him everywhere I can. I love me some Lourdes.
So it's probably too late to get there, but he's been on the way up, and I'm definitely excited in the places that I have stock in him.
Yeah, I'm there. Next year he'll be outfield only for my dynasty league, but yeah, I mean right now it's a guy that's got multiple eligibility in most leagues and hits the way he does. Lourdes Gurriel should not be on your waivers if he's there. Something besides statistics that people look at sometimes when they're saying who's going to be better for the second half is they look at people who have a historical tendency of having great second halves, right? And that kind of gives you hope. Now, these guys aren't going to be like really cheap guys you can get, but these are guys that you probably own or you may own and are a little disappointed by. But like in the past 3 years, right, as far as batting average goes, the number one guy in batting average in the second half of the year is Jose Altuve at 327. You know, he's been a little bit of disappointment this year. Number two is Daniel Murphy. There's some hope there with that. You know, we mentioned Edward Dickerson with 137 home runs, which is number two over that same period in home runs. Number 10 in home runs is the guy that everyone always thinks of when they think of second half closers, Brian Dozier. If we just goes back to last year, here's a handful of guys that have really closed well last year and maybe haven't been living up to what you expected, right? Tommy Pham, they had a WOBA of 428 in the second half last year. Paul Goldschmidt, a WOBA of 390. Justin Turner, we mentioned, a WOBA of 449. He was number 2 overall. Pham number 4. And David Peralta was a closer too. He finished at number 19 with a .379 WOBA over the last part of the year. Those are the things that, you know, so the three things you look at is you look at stats that may indicate that things are getting better. You look at the possibility of more playing time, and you also look at people that some people are just better in the second half of the year. Are there any comments on that, Steve?
I definitely think that's a thing. I have one. I don't have any stats to back this one up, but I know last year he had an amazing second half.
Let's do pure guts.
And he's sitting on the DL right now, but I think we talked about him doing a rehab last week. But anyhow, it's Kevin Gausman. I can't give up on this guy. I know that he decimated my ERA and WHIP in a couple leagues this year already, but last year same thing. He was awful in the first half. You just like roll him out there and you're just getting hammered, and then drop him, and then somebody else picks him up in the second half and gets all the benefit of it. So I expect him to bounce back in the second half. I think the Braves are a solid team as long as these young kids don't kick him out of a starting rotation spot. I think he's going to come back around for us, and I'm holding him everywhere that I can.
No, that's a good call. I mean, last year I think it was a little bit effective from moving from Baltimore to Atlanta, but the truth is that's a guy that can pitch, and with him being mostly injured, he might be available in some spots where you're not thinking. I really didn't look at pitchers much because I don't know who they are. I mean, I'm still holding out faith. Like, there are people in there. There are people out there that just because of their name, like last week you said you still believe in Joey Votto. I said I just still believe in Miguel Cabrera. There are pitchers that I'm still holding out hope for. J.A. Happ has been a better pitcher than he has been so far. Yu Darvish has been a better pitcher in his career than he's been so far. And those are just the ones I own. I'm sure there's like 6 or 7 others. Nothing else you can move on that end, but that's that. Well, that was pretty good. I wanted to do one thing before we go to the trivia stuff. Is that we were talking about last week about the baseball and how it's used this year. And on the day that we talked about it, Meredith Walls, who you can follow at BB_astrophysics, did an article in the Athletic about examining the baseballs, where she cut them open and examined them internally and whatever. And I said that it might be that the pill is off center, and I still, based on everything, I don't think that. Sorry, the pill is more center than oval, creating less drag. But her, as an astrophysicist, and I'll defer to her, she said that what was going on this year is that the ball is more round. And the reason why it's more round primarily is because Major League Baseball took over Rawlings 2 years ago, and their goal was to make things more uniform. And so they actually, all balls are more like each other than they've ever been in the past. And they did one thing different, which is that they, when you put the hide on and you put the stitching on, which is stitched by hand, they put it in a room where it dries in a certain amount of time because they want it to be regular. So it's actually under the motion of warm air, which is causing the stitches to not puff up as much as they did in the past, which makes the ball more round. And the other interesting thing I think is that the article brought up was that it's not only affecting home runs, this lack of drag, but it's affecting the pitchers too, because they're having trouble with their curveballs and stuff. So if you look at these things, not only are we setting records right now for home runs, but we're setting records for wild pitches, pass balls, and hits batters. Because the balls aren't breaking because there's not enough drag to make the ball break. And the ball's not going where the pitcher wants because there's not enough balls to make the ball drink. Do you find it to be interesting? I just wanted to be clear. Somebody smarter than me wrote on it, and I wanted to get that out there.
Oh, I'm definitely going to check that article out. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
I had heard the thing about MLB owning Rawlings, and they, now they have complete control of the whole thing.
Yeah,
that seemed a little shady to me. But
yeah, I mean, based on Terry Nixon Barton, she doesn't think that they're trying to juice the ball, but they're really, really trying to make sure that the ball is completely consistent one to another. And because of that, the difference between balls is less than it's ever been in the history. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you get a hold of one ball, knock it foul, the next ball is just as jumpy. Right?
Sure.
Well, we got a few minutes left to go. Let's go back to the trivia real quick. First question was, thinking back to opening day, what team set a record for most home runs on opening day with 8? Any guesses? You still there, Brendan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Mariners on this one.
It was the Dodgers. The Dodgers did it.
Oh.
C.J. Sabathia recorded his 3,000th strikeout on April 30th, becoming the 17th pitcher. Meanwhile, 3 pitchers surpassed the 2,500 K threshold this year. Name those 3 pitchers. You can help out on this one, I'm sure, Steve.
That one was a tough one for me. I thought maybe Felix Hernandez, which is
That's
crazy.
That's one. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I might have lost. Maybe John Lester.
No, it's a Popka Zone. Zach.
I'll go with. I'm going to try Verlander.
No, he's well over. He's well over it. Steven Strasburg did it, and a Popka Zone Zach Greinke. Who is the current major league leader?
Steve Strasburg's already at 2,500. Wow.
He's the fastest to that number. Who is the current major league leader in hits? Who's also the major league leader in caught stealing with 21 attempts?
Your caught stealing got it from me. It's Whit Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield. Yeah, I bring that up because he's 7 for 21, and people are looking for that guy for 39, 40 steals. And with that kind of ratio, he's not going to run as much. Who are the other 2 cycles besides Shohei Ohtani?
I know Jake Bowers. He did it the day after Ohtani, but I don't know the third one.
Probably the best player of the bunch is Jorge Polanco.
Oh.
Who is the player that hit 17 doubles this year, moving from 40th to 30th all-time in doubles?
I have no idea.
Robinson Cano.
Oh, okay.
And what brother combination in Major League Baseball have the most combined home runs for 2019? And we're not going to count Cody Bellinger and Cole Bellinger, the 19-year-old minor league pitcher for the Padres, because between them they have 31 and they lead.
Is it the Crons?
The Crons have 25.
CJ and Kevin Cron?
The Crons have 25, 21 for CJ and 4 for Cron, but the Gurriels have 26.
I didn't realize they were brothers. If I knew that, I would have said that. Damn it.
I mean, it's close. I thought it was an interesting question that way. Well, 58 minutes or so have passed by. Did you have fun today? I should probably turn on the closing music.
Yeah, that was a good day there.
I'd like to thank the chat room for being out there. Whoever you may be, thank all the beautiful people who download our show. We really like the people that download our show. Chief Cinco for the closing song, Death Record for the opening song. We'll be back here at 10 o'clock next Saturday. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel. Baseball bat this time. Well, we survived, guys. You got any last parting words?
All right.
Any parting words?
We got some nice little break for everybody who's not in the All-Star game. So hopefully that'll get some of these guys healthy and make for a good second half.
Yeah, I know it's a free trip, but who really wants to go to Cleveland anyway?
Right.
Brandon?
Yeah.
We survived, buddy.
No, just got one word. Plastics. There you go.
One word, plastics. Good night.
Nice.
See you next Saturday.